All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Next up is Kayla Life. Kayla Life is a transformational leadership coach who creates spaces for others in the Black community to feel seen and thrive in their own stories. She is the founder and CEO of three dynamic businesses, two of which are the Brand Creative Agency and KKSQ Tech Creative Corporation. As a former educator of over 10 years, Kayla has dedicated her career to teaching others that they deserve to be the main character of their own story and to love boldly in their truth, regardless of the societal expectations, through her high energy and speaking engagements and warm, demanding educational coaching. Her pedagogy, promotes the power of social emotional growth through technology, implementation, and training. So welcome, Kayla, live, the platform, to the I Am Change conference. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to hear what you're going to teach us. I have an affinity towards teachers, so I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. All right, go ahead and share.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for this conference. Thank you for joining us. Once again, my name is Kayla Life. I'm the founder and CEO of Rebrandland, home of the main character, where we teach main characters and business owners how to be the center of their story. We have a sweet spot for community-focused engineers, people that understand that their legacies exist beyond them, past them, that they cannot just have this vision that God has given them and keep it to themselves, that it has to be something that's going to last for a long time. Now, before I became this outstanding founder that you see now, I was once a teacher. I was an educator. I was a school counselor. I was maneuvering through my 9 to thrive as other people would. Now, one of the things that I recognized as a teacher, especially if you were in the pandemic such as I, was that people started to see teachers as we already knew, that we were less than human. There were aspects of the teaching career and being in education that we were not allowed to have a human experience in. So while others were going through a pandemic and stressed and tired, teachers were not allowed to feel that way. We still had to show up. We still had to perform. We still had to engage while still having that very same human experience that everyone else was having. So one of the things that I understood about not only my classroom, but now as it applies to business, that in order to make sure that people are thriving in whatever space that they're in, we have to see them as humans first. Now, as a leader, right, and I need to make sure that you understand this. You yourself are a leader, whether you're leading a team of people or leading yourself. So everything that I'm going to say to you today applies directly to you, regardless of whether or not you have a team of 20 people like I do, or you're riding in your solopreneurship as I started off as. Okay, there's some things that were said to you today that directly align to what my engagement is. Okay, and Shataya said something that I'm going to bring back. You have to heal. Okay, this aspect of human driven results in order to produce, in order to sustain, right? It's one thing to be successful, it's another thing to sustain. Success for me means that it's a one off thing. I need you to hear me and follow me. Success means that you had a successful trip, you've had a successful project, you had a successful whatever it looks like, right? But to sustain means that you can produce success over and over and over again because you figured out how to lead through this human lens. In order for you to do this, I want you to apply this directly to yourself before you can apply it to anyone else. Being a leader in a humanistic lens means that you're using those 5 core competencies of SEL, social emotional learning, to advance. If you don't know what social emotional learning is, let me tell you. Okay, there are 5 of them. First is self-management, being able to manage your emotions and know what your emotions are. Self-awareness, knowing how your body is feeling whenever an emotion is playing. Understanding that you can feel more than one emotion at once, right? The third one, social awareness, being aware and having empathy of those around you. Number 4, relationship skills, applying those same techniques to build positive and strong relationships around you. And then number 5 is responsible decision making, taking all of those and wrapping them into one to make the best decision possible. So imagine this. You are on your job, it's a 9 to 5, and you're doing the best that you can. Right? You are producing all-star work. You're rocking out. You're turning in your stuff on time. People don't have to check for you because your work ethic is over the top. But on this particular Monday, your tire goes out. So you're not late. You're late to work that day. Okay. You come in, you got to get a funny look. Someone says something and you're like, all right, I ain't never been late before. So I don't know why people looking at me crazy. Then the next couple of days go by and oh my goodness, you forget that you had to go pick up something for your daughter and your daughter didn't tell you but the night before that they had this thing to do for school. So instead of you going to work on time again, now you have to go take care of your family, right? Now you're late to work again. That's twice in a week. By the third time you're late in the week because something else magical has happened, you're now being called into an office with your supervisor and they're questioning you about your lateness. They say it is against our policy for you to be late like this. If you are late, it impacts the way that we work, it impacts the way that we move. And then you are led with this idea, wow, they don't see me as human. See, in that aspect, someone could have taken that time to talk to you and speak to you as a human being. I noticed that you've never been late before. Can you tell me what's going on? How can I support you to make sure that this does not happen again? What can I provide for you? So in order for you to understand this concept of leading through a human lens, here is the acronym, bringing it back to Shatea. You have to heal. Each letter of HEAL stands for something, okay? H, and write this down. If someone's following me in the chat, go ahead and pop this in because I'm an engagement type of person. I want to know that you're watching and you're listening, all right? HEAL, H stands for human design. Understand that no matter where you come from, no matter who you engage with, they are bringing some sort of trauma with them. Whether that be trauma from their old workplace, trauma from their past relationship, trauma from this morning, you don't know. So when you understand that people are not doing things personally to you to impact you, and it is the trauma that they live in, you can proceed to deal with them in a different way. You can start to see them more as a human than a machine. Okay. H stands for human design. E stands for empathy over sympathy. Let me explain to you the difference. Okay. When you sympathize with someone, you say, oh my God, that sucks. I just hate that you're in that situation. I just don't know, right? You're sad for them. This idea of empathy is putting yourself in that other person's shoes, feeling what they're feeling, experiencing what they're experiencing in order to produce a healthy result, okay? E stands for empathy over sympathy. A stands to access to success. Okay. And I want to shift that a little bit and say access to sustainability because we talked about what success looks like. In order for you to lead yourself, you have to have all the tools. In order for your team to produce the level of work that you want them to do, they have to have all the tools. So before you get upset at something not being completed, a deadline's not being met, were you provided with all the tools to be successful? Did you provide your team with every route possible to be successful? The reason why this comes so easy to me is because I told you I was a teacher, right? So I'm in a classroom full of 30 plus kids and they all have different learning styles. As a teacher, you have to be able to figure out how to reach each individual child to move them towards success. I took that same method and applied it to my business. First, it was my clients. How do I move my clients to success so that they know exactly what they need? What tools do I provide them? What resources do I give them? What network do I establish? What community are they in? Now, when you think about the people that you work with, what tools do you provide them to succeed? So if you are moving from a solopreneur into building your own agency or having more people that work with you, are you providing them with all the things necessary to be successful? Are you giving them that training that they need? Or are you assuming that they should know? Things that are common knowledge to us in our everyday life are not common knowledge to the next person. So while I maneuver and operate in this SEL space and technology, and I do all these different things, I cannot expect that from the next person, because there's only one Kayla Life in the world. You hear me? It's only one. You'll never find another. I don't want to produce people that look, think, and act like me. I want to help people learn how to navigate through their own brain span. So when you hire people, when you start to work with other individuals, you say, what is your skill set and how can I help you improve? Right? How can I give you this individualistic approach to how we can make you more successful? Okay, so A is access to success. What are you providing for individuals so that they can be the most successful in whatever it is that you're giving them to do? Okay, and that L stands for lead with love. Now, understand this. We have a habit as human beings of taking everything very personal. Okay, everything becomes very personal. You said something, you look crazy, I'm about to jump up on you. That everything is not personal to you. As we stated, people are human beings, right? They go through things. Things are happening in their life outside of your business, outside of their relationship with you. So in order for you to lead with love, you have to take that hard step and say, you know what? Even though you just snapped on me, even though you just did all of these different things, I'm going to love you first. I'm going to love you through this. And I know we have had this mindset on leadership that you cannot love the people that you're around. Oh, I just work here. Oh, I just do this. But if you want to produce sustainable results, I challenge you to start seeing the people you work around and yourself as a human being. How can I step forward and make sure that everyone around me is operating in this main character mindset, that I am the main character of this story? I'm not anyone else's supporting character. So if I'm going to be the main character of this story in whatever section that I'm existing in, how can I be the most successful, and what support do I need? You have to be able to communicate your needs effectively. Okay, not just communicate them, because I can sit here and talk at you all day. But if other people are not reaching that mark that you want them to reach, if you are not coming across clear, then you're going to have a hard time producing sustainable results. Okay, being able to communicate effectively means that when you're feeling something, you say something. My team knows if I don't like it, it's already there. And they have to understand that the mindset that I'm moving in is we want results, okay? We want to make sure we're solutions oriented, we're results driven. However, if I cannot get the results that I need right now, what human took place for it to happen? It's not because someone just didn't want to do it. It's not because someone just didn't care. It's because something very human took place. And in order for me to be the most successful, in order for my team to be the most successful, I have to see them as that first. So if you're thinking about how can I maneuver in this mindset, I'm going to tell you the first thing you need to do is look at self. The only reason I'm able to maneuver this way and see people and lead with love and be this individual is because I had to first do the work internally. I used to be very angry. I used to be very aggressive. I did take everything personally. You looked at me wrong, it was off with your head. That is how I felt. But because there were things happening inside of me from my childhood, from my past, from work, from career, from all these different things that presented themselves in the way that I communicated with people, with the way that I operated with people. It affected my relationships, growing into those, right? I had to look at myself first. So yes, I went to go see a therapist. Then I became one. I had to get a better understanding of how my brain worked in order to produce sustainable results. So now, as you look, Rebrand Land has an agency full of 20 people, 6 departments, and I'm only 30 years old. We only been in business for 3 years. Okay, it's phenomenal. But how are we pushing people to these results? It's because not only do we see our clients as individuals, I see my team as one too. We're a unit. We work, we move, we're cohesive together. But we also spend time together. We talk to one another. When things are not happening, this aspect of warm demanding means that I'm warm with you, I'm in love with you, but there is a spirit of excellence that exists here. right? And so in order for us to be excellent, what do I need to provide you? And the best tip that I can give you as a leader, as you're growing into your leadership, as you're becoming this individual you've always meant to be, okay, is to understand that it starts from within. Bianca talked about impact. In order for you to have impact, you have to realize that impact is your only responsibility on this planet. No one is your assignment, okay? You're responsible for whatever impact you leave the next person. So be responsible not only with the people that you are influencing, but be responsible with yourself. Understand what boundaries look like. Understand what your triggers are. Understand when things like this happen, I'm not feeling okay, so that you can communicate that with other people, okay? So once again, my name is Kayla Life. I'm the founder and CEO of Rebrandland, home of the main character, and I hope you become the center of your story.
I knew I was going to love your presentation. I knew it, and I was right. Thank you so much. Those gems that you dropped, looking into sustaining success, continued success, then going to or starting with changing who we are, working on who we are. I have a question. I have two questions. I don't want to tarry too long. So the first question is, what do you do when you're stuck? Because as you mentioned, like, I'm the pop off person, right? So if somebody looks at you wrong, you want to like jump to your own defense or whatever the case may be. I've been that in my life, and that is something that I've struggled with. But what do you do with that? Because sometimes it's so deflating when you've done really well for some time and then you mess up as a leader, especially because other people are watching. So what do we do in times when those triggers or those negative personality traits that we want to get over stick with us? What do we do?
I'm going to challenge our thoughts and our words, right? I don't think that any part of your personality is negative. I feel like it's a piece of who you are. This aggressive nature that people wanted to place on me makes me passionate about my clients. I am aggressive. That is who I am. I demand excellence. So that's what I'm going to do. But when we start to place these negative emotions on us and we start to formulate that in our head. So whenever you become stuck, here's what you do. You take a breath and you pause. Being able to have that self-awareness, like we talked about before, and that self-management means that you understand exactly what your triggers are. I know before someone even starts to do something, I am not going to like this conversation because I'm that aware of my emotions. I'm that aware of myself. And then when you become stuck, you need to figure out who you can lean on. Okay. I don't know who told us that we can do this thing on our own through entrepreneurship, through life, but you can't. So you should have a support team, people that are loving on you, that will tell you the truth, that you can go and you can call, that you can vent to, you can air it out. But you also need to have that person in your life that is solution driven. The individual that's going to let you chat, let you vent, all that good stuff. But then afterwards, they're going to be like, all right, so what are we going to do? What's our next step? What's our next move? So make sure that when you are feeling stuck, when you are getting those riled up emotions, that you take a breath, you take a pause, and you recognize what's going on inside of you. That's a great time for you to become your own case study. Oftentimes when I start to get angry, I have to take a pause and say, what just happened that made me feel angry? Anger is a natural part of life. Anger is not a negative emotion. It's an emotion that you feel. You get angry when something happens to you. You get angry when things don't go your way. You get angry when something in the world takes place. Anger is an emotion. And the more that we become comfortable in the emotions that we feel, the better off we'll be.
Kayla, that was absolutely, absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. As you were speaking, I'm like, yes, 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 and yes. And really understanding how humans are people, and it's people first. And one quote that also stuck with me is that impact is our only responsibility on this planet. It's not about anything else but impact. Absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, I could have you keep going and going and going. But we want to definitely keep to time. I thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a part of this movement. And just reiterating the importance of leading, being an impactful leader. Let me say that it's about the impact that you make and that will be felt even after we are gone. So thank you so much for being here today. Please enjoy the rest of your day. If you have not already, follow Kayla on Instagram, The Real Kayla Life. She's also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So this is someone you definitely want to be sure that you're following, be a part of their community. There's so much more in store. You just heard like a fraction of what she's able to deliver, what the value. This is literally a smidgen of what she has inside of her. So thank you so much, Kayla, for being here today.
Appreciate you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye-bye.